In the vast and intricate universe that is the human body, trillions of cells work in quiet harmony, following a precise, ancient blueprint. They are born, they serve their purpose, and they make way for new cells in a perfectly orchestrated dance of life. But sometimes a single cell falters. A tiny error in its genetic code, a mutation, can cause it to break from this dance, beginning a journey of uncontrolled growth. This is the genesis of cancer. When navigating a cancer diagnosis, the language used can feel overwhelming, filled with complex terms. Among the most fundamental, and often confused, are two labels that paint a picture of the cancer's character and its journey: its grade and its stage. Understanding the distinction between grade and stage is crucial. They are not interchangeable. They answer two entirely different, yet equally important questions about the nature of the disease. Think of it this way. Grade describes the cancer's personality, while stage describes its physical footprint in the body. Let's demystify these concepts, starting with the microscopic world of cancer grading. Cancer grade is determined by a pathologist, a doctor who specializes in analyzing tissues. After a biopsy, they examine the cancer cells under a microscope, comparing them to the healthy, normal cells of the tissue where the cancer originated. The core question they are asking is, how abnormal do these cells look? This assessment of cellular appearance or differentiation helps predict how quickly the cancer is likely to grow and spread. It's a measure of the cancer's intrinsic aggressiveness. Generally, grading systems use a scale from 1 to 4. We begin with grade 1, also known as low grade or well differentiated. In this state, the cancer cells still bear a strong resemblance to the normal cells they grew from. They are organized in a relatively orderly fashion, their growth is typically slow, and they are considered the least aggressive. A grade 1 cancer is like a disciplined but rogue unit that has started to misbehave but still largely follows the original rules of engagement. The prognosis for low-grade cancers is often very favorable, as their behavior is more predictable and less likely to lead to rapid spread. Next is grade 2, or intermediate grade. Here, the cells are moderately differentiated. They have lost more of their original characteristics and look more distinctly abnormal than grade 1 cells. You can see more variation in cell size and shape, and their arrangement is becoming more disorganized. Their growth rate is faster than grade 1, and their behavior is somewhat less predictable. These cells are beginning to shed the discipline of their healthy counterparts, acting with more autonomy and a greater potential for causing disruption. Grade 3 cancers are classified as high-grade or poorly differentiated. At this point, the cells look very different from normal cells. They are highly irregular, often with larger, darker nuclei, and show evidence of rapid division. The tissue structure is largely lost, replaced by chaotic, disorganized sheets or clumps of cells. These cancers tend to grow and spread quickly. They are considered aggressive, a rebellious faction that has abandoned almost all semblance of its original form and function, focused solely on multiplying and invading. Finally, there is grade 4, also known as high grade or undifferentiated. This is the highest grade. The cancer cells are so abnormal and primitive that they may bear no resemblance to the body's normal cells. It can sometimes be difficult for a pathologist to even identify their tissue of origin. These cells are highly aggressive, grow and spread rapidly, and are often associated with a poorer prognosis. They represent a state of complete cellular anarchy. So, in essence, the grade tells your medical team about the cancer's personality, from a slow-moving low-grade tumor to a fast-growing high-grade one. This information is vital for predicting the cancer's behavior and helps guide the intensity of treatment. But it's only half the story. Now, let's pull our focus back from the microscopic to the macroscopic. While grade describes the cells, stage describes their location. Staging answers the question, how far has the cancer traveled from where it started? It's a measure of the cancer's physical extent within the body. Staging is critical for determining the most appropriate treatment plan and is one of the most powerful predictors of a person's prognosis. The most common system uses a scale from 0 to 4. Stage 0 is also known as carcinoma in situ. The term in situ is Latin for in its original place. This means that abnormal, potentially cancerous cells are present, but they are confined to the very top layer of cells where they began. They have not invaded the deeper tissues of the organ, nor have they spread to surrounding structures or lymph nodes. Stage 0 is considered non-invasive cancer, and when it's detected and treated at this point, it is often entirely curable. Stage 1 represents an early-stage invasive cancer. The tumor has grown beyond the top layer and invaded deeper into the surrounding tissue, but it is still relatively small and contained within the organ where it started. Crucially, in Stage 1, there is no evidence that the cancer has spread to the nearby lymph nodes or to distant parts of the body. Because it is localized, treatment at this stage, often surgery, can be highly effective, and the prognosis is generally very good. In Stage 2, the cancer is larger or has grown more deeply into the organ tissue compared to Stage 1. In some cases, a Stage 2 diagnosis may also mean the cancer has started to spread to a small number of nearby lymph nodes. However, it has not yet reached distant sites. This stage indicates a more extensive local disease. Treatment often becomes more comprehensive, potentially involving a combination of surgery, radiation, or chemotherapy. But the goal is still typically a cure. Stage 3 describes a more advanced regional spread. The tumor is likely large and may have invaded surrounding tissues or organs. More significantly, the cancer has spread to a greater number of lymph nodes further from the original tumor, but still within the same general region of the body. There is still no evidence of spread to distant organs. Stage 3 cancer is more complex and requires more aggressive and comprehensive treatment strategies, but a cure may still be possible. Stage 4 is the most advanced stage of cancer. It is also known as metastatic cancer. This means the cancer has spread from its original location to distant parts of the body. Cancer cells have broken away, traveled through the bloodstream or lymphatic system, and formed new tumors in other organs, such as the liver, lungs, brain, or bones. While a Stage 4 diagnosis is serious and a cure is less often possible, it is not without hope. Treatment at this stage focuses on controlling the cancer, managing symptoms, and extending and improving the quality of life. Advances in systemic therapies, like immunotherapy and targeted drugs, are making a profound difference for many people with metastatic disease. Behind these simple stage numbers is a more detailed system doctors use called the TNM staging system. T stands for tumor. How large is the primary tumor and how deeply has it invaded? N stands for nodes. Has the cancer spread to nearby lymph nodes? And M stands for metastasis. Has the cancer spread to distant parts of the body? The combination of T, N, and M values, which have their own number scales, are grouped together to determine the overall stage from 1 to 4. It's a precise shorthand that gives the entire medical team a detailed, standardized understanding of the cancer's extent. Now we can bring the two concepts together and see why they are not the same. It is entirely possible to have a low-grade cancer that is high stage. This would mean the cancer cells themselves are slow-growing and not very aggressive in their appearance, but they were diagnosed late, after they had already spread to distant parts of the body. The cells have a calm personality, but they have traveled far. Conversely, you can have a high-grade cancer that is low stage. This is a scenario where the cancer cells are very aggressive and fast-growing, but they were detected very early, before they had a chance to spread beyond the original site. The cells have an aggressive personality, but they haven't traveled far. This is a critical distinction. An early-stage high-grade cancer might require more aggressive local treatment to prevent it from spreading, while a late-stage low-grade cancer might be managed with systemic therapies that can control its slow growth throughout the body. Grade and stage are two independent, powerful pieces of information. Grade tells us about the cancer's intrinsic behavior. Stage tells us about its anatomical location. Together, they form the cornerstone of a cancer diagnosis, providing a comprehensive picture that guides treatment decisions, predicts outcomes, and helps you and your healthcare team chart the path forward. While the science is complex, the message is simple. Knowledge is a vital tool. Understanding these terms empowers you to ask the right questions and participate more fully in your own care. If you ever see these terms on a report, ask your doctor to walk you through what they mean for you, in plain language. In the fight against cancer, clarity is a form of power, and early detection remains our greatest ally.